Honorable members, I would like to give the first opportunity to the Honorable Kuria Kimani, MP for Molo constituency.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And from the onset, I would like to welcome our great future doctors, engineers, professors from the great constituency of Molo constituency, led by, yes, and members of parliament, thank you, member, led by Molo Highway Secondary School, Arimi Secondary School, and Socorro Girls Secondary School. Madam Speaker, in the view of trying to encourage education in my constituency, I've always endeavored to make sure we give an exposure trip to students in my constituency. And so this morning we went to Kenyatta University, and they all promised me that they're going to work very hard to make sure they join Kenyatta University and other institutions of higher learning and our TVTC across the country. Madam Speaker, I would like to congratulate the Honorable KJ for coming up with such a very important motion during a time when we have a discussion about climate change. Madam Speaker, one Khalid Gibran said, "Trees are poems that the earth writes upon the sky." And Kuria Kimani would like to add, and when the trees write these beautiful poems to the sky becomes kind and gives us rains. Not too much rains as to destroy our land, but enough to grow our food. When you plant these trees, the sky rewards us by giving us wind. Wind that blows cool breezes to cool our brains, but not too strong as to destroy our homes. Madam Speaker, the debate now across the world is about climate change. And as an economist, Madam Speaker, I was trying to find out, is there by any chance a relationship between economic stability or economic growth and climate change? And Madam Speaker was able to establish that climate change is now considered one of the greatest threats of economic stability. And for starters, Madam Speaker, just to give an example, the heat waves, when temperatures are too high, the productivity of people reduce. That is why the productivity of people usually is the lowest between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. when the sun, when it's scorching sun. And remember, Madam Speaker, that labor is one of the factors of production. And therefore, if you're not productive because of the excess heat, then to reduce your productivity and therefore affect economic stability of any particular country across the world. And this is just a simple example. If I will go more technical, Madam Speaker, in my research, using data carried out in 174 countries, Matthew Kahn et al., that means and other authors, through an IMF working paper entitled Long-Term Macroeconomic Effects of Climate Change Across Country Analysis, showed using novel economic strategy proved that persistent changes in climate change has long negative effects on economic growth. So, Madam Speaker, this is a study that has been done by a combination of economists and environmentalists that showed actually that change in climate growth statistically has negative impacts on economic growth. Increase in average global temperatures, Madam Speaker, at around 0.04% per annum reduces world's GDP by 7.22%. So we're talking about that increase in temperature leading to a decrease in global GDP. Direct connection. And to even show it further, that countries that do not have mitigation measures, so countries that do not deliberately put up measures to stop this negative climate change, the impact was seen to be double. So therefore, Madam Speaker, if we do not deal with this elephant in the world, not just in our country, on climate change, and the easiest way and the most logical way is to plant trees. But Madam Speaker, why are we planting these trees? And it's at a time when we are competing, land is competing against many other economic activities. be it housing, one of the agendas of Kenya Kwanza government, be it farming for food, because that's not tree planting. So in a space where we are competing against this land as one of the factors of production, and we have a lot of land in our highways, then this motion by Honorable KJ cannot come in at any more particular handy time than right now. So I hope and pray that this Honorable House approves this motion, and not just approves it, that we are going to have in every contract of building a road in this country. And as I'm looking forward to completion of the Njoro Molo road, Madam Speaker, I'm hoping that we'll have first this motion so that the contractor doing the road, as soon as he completes doing the road, can start planting trees across that highway. And when this is done in an organized way, because, Madam Speaker, one of the other challenges someone might put up in planting trees along the highways is how that affects visibility of drivers along the roads. But with proper planning, there are some trees that don't grow so tall. There are some, if, for example, we're going through corners, we don't have to plant those trees across those corners. And so if done properly, we will have trees on our highways. We are going to mitigate against the negative effects of climate change, and then we are going to achieve a better tree cover. And after all, Madam Speaker, once these trees mature, then they become a source of income and a source of raw materials, for example, for our construction and for affordable housing agenda, Madam Speaker. I would like even to add, in as much as we are planting trees, I want to add more value to this motion by saying, let us plant fruit trees also as part of those trees. It would be, imagine how good it would be if you walk along the highway and there are trees and there are fruit trees, and you just find a mango fall, and then you can just munch it, and it can cool down your temperatures. So that will even help us mitigate against the issues of drought that you are facing in this country, Madam Speaker. As I do that, I hope that the students who joined us here today, that once you go back to Aremi Secondary School, once you go back to Socorro Girls Secondary School, once you go back to Molo Highway Secondary School, we are going to see an improvement in the number of trees that we're going to plant in those trees. I look forward, and I will donate those trees for you. I will donate fruit trees so that in the next few years, those that join that school in a few years to come will have better shades to sit on even when they are revising for their exams. And when they get hungry, they can just pluck some trees and enjoy their afternoon. With that, I thank you, Madam Speaker, and really congratulate the Honorable KJ for this very timely motion. Thank you, Mr. Madam Speaker.